Hello.
Hello. Happy New Year.
Welcome to another Behind the Research stream. It is a new year,
Yeah.
maybe
hmm
2024.
hmm
Yeah,
Yeah.
exciting.
I just wonder, like, how late in the new. I think it's appropriate to say Happy New Year to anyone watching, given that it's the first time that we've been live
Live,
in
yeah.
the new year. But I always wonder, like, where is that limit for like how late is too late to be saying Happy New
Yeah.
Year, like in everyday
Well,
conversation.
it's like at this point, if you see someone you haven't seen at Christmas, do you ask them, "Have you had a good Christmas?" Like it's towards halfway through
Yeah.
January.
Yeah,
Is it
yeah.
still like?
And then what if you haven't seen them and it's like July time? Are you like, how was
Well,
Christmas?
yeah, but like there clearly is like a point between where
Now
it's
in July.
Or like, what if you haven't seen someone for years? It's like, tell me about the last three
three Christmases.
Christmases.
Yeah. Then I guess in theory, there's bigger stuff that's happened other than just Christmas.
Christmas is the
That's
biggest.
true, true.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, having said that, I'm probably going to ask you both how your Christmases were and what you got and what.
Scandalous.
Yeah.
This is fine. It's
Um.
January.
Yeah. Yeah.
I reckon after February the 12th. That's
Okay.
like the hard deadline, hard cut-off point.
Okay.
It's February, but no, it's not February. It's January still.
Don't
Yeah.
do a Seb.
It's,
Don't forget what
it's,
months are.
it's,
Oh, okay. But yeah, so we're back for the new year.
mhm,
Yeah.
Um.
yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully, lots of exciting things
Yeah.
coming up once we decide what they
Mm.
are.
Yes. I
Yeah.
mean, we had a meeting yesterday. We had exciting
We did.
things planned.
We've been productive so
Yeah.
far.
Yeah.
Been more productive in BTR than potentially in PhD work. Um,
No,
yeah,
forbidden worse.
Got
okay.
PhD work.
Okay. So I mean, the last time we did one of these sort of family streams, as we like to call them, was October. Yeah,
Yeah.
October.
That's it.
I think so.
Maybe November.
No, I'm not sure.
Okay, so we can catch up on PhD work from October, but I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
if you,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. Me, my turn.
I don't know. We do want to do Christmas first.
we could do Christmas first, or at least like how has the last few weeks been? Have you had a nice break? Did you do something
Yeah.
nice? Did you, yeah.
Okay. Do I need to say who I am? Yes. It's like I'm Seb. Hello.
Hello, Seb.
PhD student, final year. PhD student. Um,
Mm.
doing maths.
Mm.
Uh, imaging problems. I look at pictures and I'm like, "Ooh, I want a nice picture," and that's me. Hello. Uh, yes. What have I been doing these last few weeks? Have
Mhm.
been nice. They've been fine. Good. Wait, am I doing everything?
I don't know. You just sort of started. Uh, Should we all introduce ourselves? I'm Henry, a fellowship.
Because like I never know. Again, we always forget to do this because we kind
Yes.
of assume that people know who we are at this point. But maybe okay, start with. I know Seb, you've already introduced
Introduce
yourself.
yourself.
We should do it again. Maybe we start with Christmas, and then when we can start talking about PhD work, we can explain a little bit more.
So we should say our name.
Names.
Yes,
Okay.
actually, yeah.
Sounds like we need a plan.
No,
Christmas.
fine.
Yeah, Christmas was nice. I went to my parents' place. Oh, cat is in the chat. Um, yeah, went to my parents' place. That was nice. Um,
Yeah,
saw the dogs. That was good.
yeah, always.
Yeah, lots of pets, many pets.
Mhm,
Just sat on the sofa with them, just vibing. It was nice.
mhm,
Read some book. Finished a
Ooh.
book.
mhm.
That was good. I go in like slumps of like reading a lot and then just
Yeah.
pretending words don't exist.
Yeah.
What were you reading?
I was reading the second book in the Dune series. I
Okay.
perfect.
Okay. Mhm.
Yeah.
There you go.
How long is each one of those? Because I've heard that they're quite.
Very.
I think the first one is like 800 pages,
Okay.
and I think the second one is only like 300, I think. And
I've
the
got,
third one is
so
400.
Mhm.
I've got the first three Dune books all in one volume, so I don't really have like I just know it's a big.
Oh my gosh.
There's like nearly 2,000 pages.
Nah.
It doesn't read.
I like it so far. It's good.
Hmm.
Um, yeah. I don't usually finish many books, so it's like an
Okay.
accomplishment. Nice.
Okay.
Played many board games as
Hmm.
well with my parents and some of their friends.
Hmm.
Yeah, played some new ones. There's some series of board games called like Azul or something, and it's like I don't know, like little tiles and you make patterns and stuff. It was nice. It was good. It was good. And then what? Um, oh, the last 2 years, my mum has done some sort of like community Christmas dinner thing.
Oh, that's
So for like for like elderly people, like people don't really have like
hmm
much family, they can like come to some like community town hall, and we just have a big
that's really
Christmas dinner
sweet.
there. So
Hmm
yeah, I was helping out running that. That was nice. Really wholesome.
Yeah,
It's good.
yeah, definitely.
It was a
I think
success.
there's something nice about like Christmas just feeling compelled to like kind of give something back at times,
Yes.
yeah. But I guess not a lot. It's one thing wanting to do it, and then it's another thing like there's a very small subset of people that actually selflessly go
Yes.
and do it. So I think that's really lovely. Yeah.
Yeah. That was my Christmas. It
hmm
was awesome, chill, relaxing, uneventful.
Do you feel refreshed now?
I do. I
Okay,
do.
okay, that's
Good.
good. Yeah. How about you, Henry?
Good. I think it's been like the first time I've not had exams after Christmas. So I've had like
Oh,
3 weeks of just guilt-free not doing any work, which was very nice.
hmm
And I think very much needed. But a lot, like I said, very quiet, lots of reading, spend all the time at home, played some board games with family,
ooh,
just played lots of Ticket to Ride.
ooh, that's a good one.
Mm.
Yeah.
hmm
But then I got too into Ticket to Ride and started memorising all the routes, and
Oh
then my
no.
family got upset with me for like competing
Yeah.
by memorising all the long routes.
Yeah, I can see where they're coming from. Yeah,
Yeah.
as a non like, I don't really do board games at all. So I'm like, if somebody is then like living the board game, and I'm like, still don't understand what's going
Yeah,
on.
I
It's like,
counted up like
yeah,
all the different like because like with premise of the games you have different routes, different cards, you collect cards to play these.
okay.
So I calculated which routes were the most optimal and stuff.
Oh no.
I think when you're playing, if you're playing with like a group of like maths PhD
Yeah,
students, then
that's
actually
acceptable.
applying that
Yeah,
level of
but
like,
then
yeah,
with my family they thought that wasn't very acceptable.
Yeah.
as long as you didn't fall out over
No,
your
no, no,
game
no.
strategies.
It's like use that knowledge to like mess people over. It's like, oh, this
Oh
card's
my
very
god,
very communication. So let's just
it's like there's like 6 long cards which were like across the corners of a board.
mm,
So it's like a few times when somebody like play like, oh, that means deliberately going to play the different
ah,
card cut them off.
ah, awful.
But yeah, no, it was good. It was the first year in quite a while where like, I found I've been hosting people for Christmas.
Mm,
Mm,
It's like a few years we've been hosting my like grandparents and like friends and other things. So it's
mhm,
just nice to have like just us as a family Christmas, which I think was
yeah,
nice.
cute.
yeah.
But yeah, very, very quiet.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
What
What about
about
you?
what about you,
My
Beth?
Christmas, yeah, my emphasis on like calling me by my name
What?
there.
Let me introduce myself. I'm Henry.
Henry?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
okay, fine.
Yeah, no, I think yeah, I was ready for Christmas. I was ill just before Christmas, so I was like,
Oh
it
no.
was only a cold. Like I know a lot of
You
people have been
said,
ill
yeah,
and like
sure.
have had COVID over Christmas. But no, so I had a cold in like the lead up to Christmas.
Mm,
But then yeah, like I didn't do sort of work wise. I'd agreed with my supervisors that I was going to work on something up until Christmas and then hand it over to them.
okay.
And then they said on like the Tuesday, so in my head I was working like up until the Friday before Christmas because
Sure.
I'd got until then and that's when they wanted it.
Right.
And then on the Tuesday before Christmas, they were just like, yeah, no, we want it by the end of today.
What?
Like, they were like relaxed about
Sure.
it doesn't need to be finished. It's like
Yeah.
whatever you can then get done today, just send it in whatever state it's in. I was like, well, that's great. I'm now not doing any work for the rest of the week.
That's good.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I did actually have like a break from work.
Nice.
I
Good.
think we
Important.
tried to do like then the first week in January, like half days.
Hmm.
Tried to do a little bit to kind of get back into it. That proved to be a bit more difficult than I
Yeah.
thought, just
Yeah.
because mostly because my parents had a puppy
Oh,
just after
yeah.
Christmas. So she is very needy.
Yeah.
And I was trying to do that thing of like when people have a baby and they're like when baby sleeps, parent sleeps.
Okay.
But I was trying to like when she's asleep, I'm gonna go and do some work.
Okay.
It's like she's a puppy, she'll sleep all the time, and then it was like, no, she's not sleeping all the time. She wants to bite me.
Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's their name?
She's called Daphne.
Daphne.
Yeah, yeah,
What breed?
border terrier. Yeah.
Whoa.
So she's she's still very little at the minute, but growing quite a lot.
yeah.
So I'm excited to go home again and sort of see if she
Yeah.
remembers me. But yeah, so that proved to be like slightly less productive, but then maybe that was a good thing.
No,
So
I agree.
yeah,
I think it's good. It's important. It's like as we've always said, important to actually take breaks.
Mhm.
yes, yes. But did you been somewhere exciting for Christmas?
Skiing.
Yeah.
Yes, we went
Mm.
on a nice little ski trip
Mm-hmm.
with a group of other PhD friends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was nice. That was amazing.
Yeah.
I'm always just in complete awe of like the mountains, of like how
Oh yeah.
big they are and how much snow there is. It always surprises me. I'm like, gosh, this is just
Well, it's like when
fantastic.
you're up there, like and you go and see that, like, oh, that's not a bush, that's the top of the tree.
Okay.
Because like there's like places like where like you almost some trees and like so you see like and it looks like a twig and then you realise, oh, that's because we're on like 2 or 3 meters of snow and the rest of the tree is all the way under.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah. I mean, I've never been skiing. I have no concept really of like it seems like a very kind of an odd statement for you to say like the mountains are really big, but then I kind of get what you mean.
Yeah.
It's like to just when you have no concept of actually like
Yeah.
hmm
It's the fact of like I was like, oh, but this is nice mountain. I'm sure there's another village on the other side. You get to the top of the mountain and you look over and like, oh, then for the rest like far as you can see is like just more peaks.
Mm.
So you so like the resort was like there's a big like valley
hmm
and like sounds like sort of in like oh when you get to the other side you be able to see another valley on the other side. You get to be able to over the top and then you look over and like and it's just more mountains.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's quite a lot of.
Mm. Yeah.
It's very nice that you both come back uninjured.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Nobody got injured actually.
I
Mm,
don't think so. No.
no, I wouldn't trust myself not to injure myself.
I
skiing, like
think we all expected me to be the most injured one, just for
Yeah.
general being a bit clumsy and a bit reckless. But I think like it's one of those things that I fell over a lot, but because it was my first time skiing and I wasn't going very fast, and snow's actually quite soft.
hmm
I only crashed into a solid object once.
that's yeah, fair effort.
Yeah. Yeah, I also hadn't skied before, but I had snowboarded once before,
Okay.
so there was some like I've been on snow
Yes.
sort of.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think you picked up like the initial like day of like accepting like sliding forward faster
Yeah,
than I did. So I think it sort of meant you always like a day ahead of me in
yeah,
terms of like progression.
Mhm.
agreed. Yeah, it's just like balancing really, you know, just balancing, distributing your weight differently,
Yeah,
and like don't lean back,
yeah.
and then that's it. You ski.
Okay.
That's
You
it.
can't you can't fall over forward, but you can definitely fall over backwards.
Right.
Because like
okay.
the skis are really long in front of you and like the
So
way the ski boots support
yeah.
you is like you're not gonna like overbalance and fall forwards.
Right.
But you can overbalance and go backwards because then the skis like fly out in front of you.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and like the ski shoes are like super, like they're like clamps.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not sure if they're meant to, but at least for me, they were
Right.
like clamps around my legs.
Yeah, like you cannot move your ankle at all in them, which is for the best.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
But like yeah, they have like proper like buckles you have to like ratchet down around your
Mhm.
feet and stuff. It felt like putting on armour.
Can't say you're convincing me to go skiing, but like I believe you that it's like maybe it is safer than it otherwise seems.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. Yeah. It was nice. It was good.
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
yeah.
Everything was very expensive in the resort though. There was a
Mm.
I saw somewhere was like 50 centilitres of Guinness, which I think is about just
Just
approximately
under
a
a
pint.
pint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was £10 or
Okay.
or €10, which is essentially like
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Mm. I guess it's sort of if you're in a resort, sometimes it's like when you have
yeah.
like I guess this is anywhere and not just this place, but like when you are limited to like you cannot leave the resort, you
Yeah.
have no choice but to like buy this thing
We
if you
have
want
to.
this thing. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I think one of the days one of the people were going to bought like a baguette, like a big baguette granted, but like for £9
Yeah.
was like well €9 again.
Mhm,
But like yeah.
mhm. But no, I'm glad you both had a good
Yeah.
time. I just thought we should probably mention that Kat popped up in chat
Mm.
briefly. So she's alive, but she's not here.
Oh, okay. Good enough.
Yeah, it's good enough. Okay,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
satisfied with
I
that
am satisfied.
explanation.
I'm happy.
But no, so Kat will be making a reappearance at some point because we won't give her any choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she's currently going to be writing up her thesis very soon.
So she's running away from all the distractions, which of us?
Yes, yeah, and going to America to
Yeah.
do that. So, like I say, she will be back because we don't give her any choice. But we're going to miss her over the next few months.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah. No.
I think we've been taught how to use all the equipment, and we set this up today.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, we did set up by ourselves.
Yeah.
We did it like really quite quickly as well.
Yeah.
It all went very smoothly. The only issue is that if the camera dies at any point, then please do let us know. We should see because
We should see
yeah,
clearly.
we can see OBS. But the camera was like Seb messaged our group chat like was it like 12 o'clock.
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you were like, has the camera been on charge? And it was like, no,
Uh,
it's not. So we're playing camera chicken with basically like how long
Mm.
can we stream before the battery dies.
yeah.
So that's fun.
Yeah.
But minor snack, that's fine. Everything else is yeah.
Don't know how long it takes to get a full charge of the battery. That's probably like a useful number for us to know.
Yes,
Yeah.
which we could probably Google. Yeah, like if we know, let me know the model and whatever.
Hmm.
Yeah. So
Most things like are fully charged in about an hour.
it's had about an hour. It's
Yeah,
had
so it's
yeah.
probably about fully charged.
Yeah, we'll see. I reckon we should have until at least like 3, 3.
Yeah.
Maybe after that it starts getting like a bit
Dangerous.
hairy. Yeah.
It's like you're not meant to charge things to full.
Yeah, you're like meant to, for best battery optimization, you're meant to like charge things to about like 80% and then always go down to about 20%, then back up to 80%, then down to
Really?
yeah. It's not like you get best battery health by not overcharging and running low.
I knew that it was a thing that it's like don't so like you're not meant to charge it overnight because then it's basically at 100% and it's just doing nothing.
Yeah,
But then is that so like with my when I'm in the office, my laptop is just permanently on charge because then that's different because if
yeah,
it's connected to power, then like a laptop will have optimized performance,
yeah.
right?
I mean, I'm not sure. The way I think it was explained to me was like if you have sort of like if you imagine a battery is like a rubber band.
Mm-hmm.
If you keep stretching the rubber band to maximum and going back to nothing, and you do that lots and lots of time, the rubber band's going to wear out faster
Yeah,
than
yeah.
if you just stretch it a little bit and don't fully like contract and stretch it a little bit.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. It's like on my phone, like when I set like on my sleeping app,
Mm.
into charge, you'll be at 100%
When
at
you
like this hour,
Yeah.
like this waking
yeah,
hour.
so mine does automatically. Like, so if I have an alarm set and I charge it overnight, it'll be like your phone will be fully charged when your alarm goes off in the morning.
Okay. I mean, mine doesn't. It doesn't tell me that, but mine does say that it goes into like optimized charging mode,
Yeah,
so that it basically charges it slower,
Okay.
knowing that then it won't hit 100%
Sure.
until like just before I need to use it.
yeah. So
So
I think mine,
I think.
I think mine charges fast at 80%, and
Mhm.
then we'll just let itself be natural overnight, and then
Yes.
like 10 minutes before I wake up, do the last, or like just half an hour before I wake up, do the last 20%.
Yeah, I think something. Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm. They don't call them smartphones for nothing.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Um, but okay, I'm glad. Maybe we should look into getting like an electrical engineer
Maybe.
on as one of our
Yeah.
guests that can explain how like the cat battery works, please.
Batteries.
Isn't Paul Catt's supervisor a trained electrical engineer? Wasn't his first degree in electrical engineering?
Don't know.
I
Have to consult his CV.
It's
Yeah.
kind of chat to know, because I'm sure
she's
he,
popped off again now.
because I did like as part of Samba, CDT will you do an integrated research project, which is like in your first year, which you work with academics, something, and ours was on electrical engineering stuff, and Paul was part of it. He knew about electrical engineering stuff.
I can believe that definitely because like I think yeah, like our your IRP and my ITT project,
Yes.
like that was to do with like electricity and the power like the national grid and stuff. And Paul, yeah. So,
Yeah, I'm almost convinced he's at least had some formal training in electrical engineering, but
No.
this could be made up.
Something that you just imagine. Like I do that all the time. Yeah. Okay. Well, we've done the
Christmas. Christmas is done.
Yeah.
Good.
So should we start with the youngest? We'll
Yeah.
start with
Yeah.
PhD youngest anyway.
PhD youngest.
How has your work been going?
Yeah, because I just started doing things officially when I
Yes,
last
yeah.
streamed. So yeah, it's been going probably slower than I was initially hoping. It's just taken a while to like work out what we're doing.
Okay.
So like the general thing I'm studying is like I'm doing fluid dynamics, but like if you have some kind of bump at the bottom of like a stream, I'm studying waves generated by fluid flowing over that bump. But we're sort of like took us a while to work out what sort of problem we wanted to tackle and like what sort of equations we wanted to use. And at this point, we would a system on studying. We're sort of now studying a case of instead of having like a smooth bump, you just have like a sudden step.
Mhm.
and then what does that do with the fluid on top?
Okay.
Spoiler that there is a wave, but we're trying to derive the exact sort of form of wave. And what I've been doing, like since getting back, is I'm attempting to write some code because
Lovely.
we need to actually have something to test our like analytical answers. So like
Sure.
the pen and paper answers we get by doing maths against to see if they're reasonable.
Mhm.
And we got sort of like you can't really do experiments, or at least we don't know anyone who does experiments with this
Mhm.
thing. And because it's like the super idealized fluids, you probably couldn't do
Sure.
experiments to
Actually,
actually
yeah.
experiments to quantify
Okay.
these things. So we need to have something to do it. So I've been bashing my head against a very paper which is written like sort of vaguely because this guy's been writing this code to do this thing for like ever.
Mhm.
Okay.
So there's lots of like statements in the paper which I'm like, I'm not quite sure what you mean by this. It's like something's like we update the variable. You're telling me how we're
Excellent.
updating the variable. So I'm
Oh.
like,
Mhm.
so yeah. So for most of this week, I've just been making a nonsense machine. But just before stream, I found a couple of bugs, and now it's not a nonsense machine.
Excellent.
Okay. That is
Nice.
good. I'd say like for 1 week back after the new
Yeah.
year, that's pretty good
Yeah.
progress.
Okay. It's not a nonsense. It basically says nothing's happening if I put in no like change across the
Which is
bottom.
what you
But
want.
that's good.
That's good. Yes.
Good base test.
The null test is
Yeah,
working.
yeah. That's
I
test
don't
something.
need to test the non-null case.
Yeah. We could.
Make it horribly.
Yeah.
But at least I know it's sort of not.
Yeah.
Previously, it was just giving like you put it in like, and I'm like plotting like the x-y coordinates of a wave, and
Mhm.
like the wave was also like exploding to infinity and like
Okay.
doing bad things
Mhm.
and like becoming an imaginary number. It's no longer an imaginary number.
Okay.
Nice.
Good.
Good.
Yeah.
Like for your way.
Yes,
They're good.
yes. So at least it's helpful.
Mhm.
At least it's doing something now.
Yeah. So I guess what's like that sort of as a first project, do you envisage this sort of taking like the entire length of your
No,
PhD?
so I
or-
think the plan is we're quite keen to like get some like groundwork of a paper done before summer, like at least
Mhm.
some sort of results that we can start
Mhm.
turning into a paper. Because there's another group who sort of like started this work, and we want to like we talked to people who did it, like yeah, you can work on it, but also because it's like quite new work, there could be other groups trying to like do this result as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's like my supervisor's quite keen that we move quite quickly to do this. I am as well, but I don't know. Like part of me's like I don't know. Let's like I don't. I cool if we get this paper done, but I also like don't want to absolutely destroy myself chasing after like a paper, which but
Yeah. I
it's like
think
one of those things. It's like yeah, but no. So that's going good. I think.
Yeah. So is it like a particular sort of result in mind? So I know sometimes with PhDs they're like, oh, we're going to focus on this certain
Yeah,
thing.
I don't know.
Yours is a bit more like
So
exploratory.
I know that my supervisor quite likes PhD by publication.
okay.
At
Okay.
least that's how. So another one in the department, he's now kind of postdoc here, is doing stuff very similar to me. He did PhD by publication,
Okay.
and this area of maths kind of fits quite nicely into like just a few small projects all in this sort of general
Yeah, it's like
area.
you can easily compartmentalize.
Utilized.
Yeah.
It's
Sure.
like so like doing this over a step would be like one project, and then looking at a different topology or looking at like a different system because of these same equations can also be used to like model the atmosphere and like so these exactly the same equations for like studying flow over step
Mhm.
is also how you would model the jet stream of waves generated by flows over mountains.
Okay.
These are equivalent systems,
Mhm.
politically speaking. So then they're want to be about this and like looking at multiple layer
Mhm.
flows for like stuff over a mountain. There could be interesting stuff there. Yeah. So like there's different areas, and I suspect I'm more likely to do like 3 or 4 just like smallish,
Mhm.
like 3 or 4 9-month like projects
Yeah.
Mm.
and compile them into a thing as opposed to doing like some people do just like one big project for the whole 3 years.
Yeah. And I guess like that's like brilliant to have that aim, but I think it's just important to remember that
Yes.
like if your sort of wants and needs align with your supervisors,
Oh,
then
yeah.
it's great. But it's also don't put too much pressure on yourself
Yeah,
to be
no,
like
I'm
I
not.
have to have 4 papers or something.
Yeah, I'm like I feel like and I think it's just getting into it and just like sort of like still finding your feet with
Yeah.
research. I think is a bit like daunting
Mm-hmm.
because like I don't know, but we'll
I would
find
like to
out.
tell you it gets better and that you will find your feet, but I'm still looking for mine.
Seb, have you found your feet?
My feet. I did briefly. Yeah.
Have you reached the
Yeah. It's fine.
Where was the last place you saw them?
I don't know, like 3 months ago.
Okay. But no, I think it's just like having a healthy attitude to like
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm fairly good. Like my entire mentality's been like in the first 9 months up until like I don't know some amount of time. Even if I just get like an idea of the research
Mhm.
landscape and do some like just smaller things, even if it doesn't go anywhere, I feel like I know so much more about the area than I did in October when I started. But
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's just healthy to accept that like in your first half of your PhD you might not get anything done.
Mm.
But as long as you like actually look back and like I did do work, I did learn these things, that's fine.
Hmm. Yeah. No, that sounds good. Mm-hmm.
Like you, as a sort of
That's a big song. No, I sort of, in terms of like my work progression, I'm quite happy with where that is.
Mhm.
So up until like probably from when we last did like a catch up stream from October, we were very set on I was writing a paper.
Okay.
So that was again good, and I can't complain. So I think but that had been a long time coming. So I think it was just kind of like it was a bit frustrating that it was like, okay, at least we finally got to like
Sure.
this sort of what feels now more like a tangible end point. And the project itself is like it was still tangentially related to what I thought my PhD was.
Okay.
So again, just to recap, I study the collective behaviour of Trinidadian guppy fish, and they sort of exhibit very specific behaviours. So they don't live in as larger groups maybe, and they don't like school like other or like
Okay.
shoal like other fish do. They also their movement is particularly driven by like sexual conflict as well.
Mhm.
So the males will chase the females, and that can cause the different sort of types of movement, and it kind of drives their movement more maybe
Okay.
in
Yeah.
one direction rather than sort of like swirling around a little bit more. So I guess the overall plan was to kind of have some kind of like multi-scale model or like a suite of mathematical models that can describe their behavior at different levels. So I started off doing basically just like a one species kind of global um, like collective behavior sort of diffusion model. So it was like a reaction diffusion model of like
Okay.
the guppies as a species are reproducing and they're moving across the domain. And so we can look at that as either like stochastic sort of like movement between cells in kind of like a discrete way.
Mhm.
But then you can derive from that a PDE, and so you have a continuous description, and end up with a traveling wave solution, which is like, and then traveling wave solutions are something that have been like really kind of heavily studied, but only in certain like circumstances. So what we sort of started looking into was how we could have um, density dependent diffusion
Okay.
within the diffusion rates of the population. So say that because the way that the guppies move, we sort of are hypothesizing that they will diffuse at a higher rate when there's fewer of them, because one male will persistently chase one female for quite a
Okay.
long period of time. Whereas if there's multiple males or multiple females, then they kind of switch their attention. So
Okay.
they're not actually focused on their movement as such. They're just more focused on like they keep switching around, so they're not
Okay.
driving the movement.
Huh.
So that was then kind of like where the original plan came from. Then we ended up going off on like a bit of a tangent
Mm.
that was just kind of general PDEs, traveling wave solutions, and sort
Okay.
of lots of different forms of density dependent diffusion. And that's ultimately like what the paper will be about, is sort of
Okay.
like classifying sort of more general forms of diffusion.
So a lot more theory than you like, as opposed to
Yes.
just like fish. This is actually just more classifying different types of
So like the paper we don't it's sort of in an in an ecology setting.
Okay.
So we're
Sure.
still thinking about animal populations or cell populations, but we have not specifically like
Got you.
talked about guppies
Guppies.
at all. So I'm like they're cute, and I'm like I like the guppies, and then for 6 months it's been like no guppies,
Oh.
no,
just PDs.
just
Oh
PDs.
no. Yeah.
Um,
Oh.
Yeah, so that was like the lead up to Christmas. From October to Christmas, I was writing that, and then as I said earlier, that was what my supervisor said just in the week before Christmas. Like, the plan was that I was handing that over to them, and they were like, "No, we want it by today." So as far as I have not seen the paper since before Christmas,
Okay.
as far as I'm aware, they are now doing edits and
Sure.
rewrites and whatever it needs. And we'll see whether it looks like anything that I wrote when
At
it
least
comes
your
back
name
to
will be
me.
on it.
Yes, yeah, they have at least agreed that I can. Well, they're not, as far as I'm aware, they're not kicking me off any kind of authorship.
That would be a scandal.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe it's like, no, we just changed it completely, and then it's like it's none of your work anymore, so we're just going to publish.
Oh.
Um, no, so that's then arguably put that in a box for a
Mhm.
while. So then I've come back and I'm kind of like focusing on the next bit of my project now,
Okay.
which is back to dog piece again,
Yay.
specifically. So yeah, I've also just been coding since the new year.
Mm.
But I'm now looking at like a little bit on like a smaller scale
Mhm.
dynamic. So we're kind of thinking of the guppies having like different pools along a river. So in the wild, they will jump upstream, and they can jump like up waterfalls that are like a lot bigger than their
Yeah,
body
because they're
length.
like very small,
Yeah,
aren't they?
they're like 1 to 2 centimeters.
Okay.
Yeah, they're very small. But they can jump up waterfalls, and they will. So yeah, so we basically kind of want to create like a. I'm now looking at like the two species model, so males and females, and just kind of simulating what we think the dynamics should be.
Mm.
Like the dynamics of movement should be based on like different sex ratios
Sure.
and different environments.
That makes sense.
Interesting.
Yeah, so
Nice.
that's sort of the next plan is like I guess getting like smaller scale, two species, and like figuring out a little bit more what's happening between them. So yeah, so arguably like this is the exciting part of research
Nice.
is like
Yeah.
the playing around with it, but I think I've just been finding it a little bit like, but I don't know what I'm doing, and
Mm.
my supervisors don't know what they want me to be doing either.
I've
Okay.
had that a lot, like with my
Yeah.
supervisor. Like every other week is like, oh, we're actually now changing projects to do this other thing.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we kind of got bogged down on something, so we changed.
Okay.
But I think, like you say, it's important to remember that even though it feels like wasted work at the time, it's kind of not because it's
Yeah.
like again, I should tell myself this rather than like not listening to what I'm saying. Yeah, remind me to watch the stream back
Okay.
and listen to my
Like,
own
that's fair.
advice when I'm like,
You're still within your first half of your PhD.
yes, yeah,
So like it's still, I feel like it's
just
still,
about.
yeah, but like you still are like in the like infancy of your PhD. So I
Mm.
still think it's very fair to be like, I don't know what I'm doing yet.
Yeah, and like sometimes I think I would maybe just like a little bit more guidance. Like
Yeah,
it's sort of nice to have that kind of.
I feel like you're never going to have a perfect supervisor supervisee relationship. I feel like I don't know. I feel like there'll always be like some imbalance between what they think is the best way and what you think is the best way.
Yeah,
I feel like there's always going to be at least some amount of conflict with your supervisor. You're always going to see things slightly differently or see how you should be progressing slightly differently.
And I think maybe what I should appreciate is that they're not telling me exactly what to do because they don't know exactly
Yeah.
what we want or what they want yet and what is the right answer, and maybe there isn't one.
Yeah, I think ultimately, if your supervisor knew exactly what you should be doing and when you should be doing it, they would have just done it.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, they have finite time
They have finite
as
time, but
well.
like it also means it's like actually worth doing. And it's also like if you just got told the answers, you wouldn't much of a PhD. You wouldn't like learn anything from it.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I think I need to find like I thought I had like a renewed motivation for it last week, and then this week has just not happened.
Okay.
My brain has not been braining. So I'm like, I need to find some enthusiasm from somewhere and just some motivation from somewhere.
Mm.
Again, and then hopefully it'll sort of, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I think when you say about like I'm still in the first half of my PhD, and it does like so many people say, but you've still got ages left, and I'm kind of like, have I though?
Yeah, but like I feel like when I compare myself against like people in other years, like you know, you're because you're the year good brother, you all just seem so much like more competent than our like doing research than we do. But I feel like I don't know. I feel like it's like oh yeah, I'll be like you and doing like this good stuff in like a year's time.
But sort of every project is different.
Oh yeah, because
So it's
and
always
everybody works differently, and like
yeah.
everyone's projects have had like there's definitely like people in my group who like they're doing so much more work and stuff. When I like, oh yeah, we've had it like they have like a textbook they can like sort of follow and learn
Yeah.
how I've
Yeah.
got a textbook,
Right.
so I've sort of had to be like learning.
Yeah. I feel like even like the projects that I spent like months on and then later just sort of like just forgotten about, like moved on. Like I don't really consider it as like wasted time. It's still like providing like useful like insight or context or just like skills and experience of like coding or like deriving stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. No lost time.
Yeah. I think that's probably like important to remember, and I should remind myself on, especially like when you have a week where maybe it's not super productive or things just aren't happening. And it's like also, but then you can have a week where you are super productive and you do like 3 weeks worth of work in one, and
Yeah, I feel like I think I always say to myself, time like the time when you're procrastinating and doing other things is still valuable time because that time allows you then to have that. If you can't be productive all the time, you have to have time when you're not being productive, so that you can be productive later.
What?
So that time when you're not being productive, you actually are being productive to allow yourself to be productive later.
Okay.
I think you broke.
Is that just like dragging the bar down so that when you're slightly productive, it's like, oh, actually, this was incredible?
No, I mean like
Because it's not doing anything.
So he's saying like you need. I have to have like periods when I'm not. I could like get into the office at 9 o'clock and work until 5 o'clock and
Sure, yeah.
with like no breaks. I have to have breaks because otherwise I can't.
Yeah.
So therefore, the times that I'm not working and the times where I need to have a break are therefore being productive in them because I am
helping you then work better
to be productive later.
So that's like give us some time to recharge.
Yeah, so all your time is productive, even the time when you're not being productive.
Okay, that's a very dangerous statement to say.
Not quite where I thought you were going with it. Like, because I thought we were going to say that when you do just take that like 5-10 minute break, or it's like you just go and look away and you go on your phone or go and make a cup of tea or something. I thought you were going to say that like your brain is still your brain is still going in the back.
Like I went for one yesterday and like I worked out some of the bugs in my code while I was having a
Yeah.
Like no, so that is also productive. But there also been like times when you just find somebody in the office to harass. To like what? To distract you.
To talk to.
Yeah, to like distract.
Yeah. Have a nice coffee chat.
Yeah, have a nice coffee. Like
there's
a few people like just like distract.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, last but not least, Seb, how are you? How is work going for you?
Yeah, it's going. Yeah, I had my paper has been fully accepted now for publication.
Does that mean like it now exists on the internet?
It's not yet published. Well, it exists on archive and exists for a few months. We sent it to reviewers a while back, and they came back like, "Oh, some typos, little changes." I then made those changes, waited for them to check them out, and then they're like, "Yes, we are happy."
Right.
So,
Are you going to print up and put it in the social space in that like
maybe I may do that.
How many is that now?
Well, so for PhD, that's number 1.
Oh, okay.
But for me, that's number 3.
You had a very productive masters.
Yeah, well, that one was from masters, and another was from like workshop that I went to.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, oh, the little thing you worked on here is going to be for a paper thing.
Okay, that's cool.
It is.
Yeah.
Was it one of those workshops where like your attendance of a workshop was conditioned on you writing a paper?
I don't think so. No.
Because there's like I know there's some workshops where you go to and like part of going to a workshop is you do it like what you do has to become a paper. It's like part of like your funding to go to these workshops is.
Okay. I've never come across anything like that, but
I don't know. Maybe it was. Also, I was talking to some postdocs. Maybe it's part of like their postdoc grant. I think maybe it was the Newton Institute, possibly.
Okay.
Like part of their grant was that they had to like go to this workshop and write a paper for their job. So maybe it's a different level there.
I mean, in like most like workshops that I've gone to, usually it's just been like just conferences. I didn't actually know the difference. But this workshop that I went to, it was more like half the time was talks, and the other half was literally like, oh, sit round in little tables, and an academic has some like problem that they are interested in, and you think about that, do some coding, deriving. And they were like, oh, if you want to, you can stay in touch afterwards, and we've got a special issue that you can.
Okay.
So it's more like an opportunity to make
Yes.
a paper thing,
Yeah.
and we were like, okay, let's do it.
Cool.
And we did.
Mm.
But yeah, the full PhD only number one publication.
Okay.
Hmm.
So no, that's exciting. So what is the plan for you for this year?
Well, ideally, it's wrap up two more projects.
Okay.
Is
Mm-hmm.
the plan. We're currently still sort of like exploring for like scope for another project. We have some ideas, but it's mainly like we need to get code to run an actually meaningful
Okay.
experiment, because the problem that I'm considering is like very like demanding on on your computer. And so my laptop can only consider like very simple sort of versions of them. And it's like nobody actually really cares about this problem. So you need to like, talk to the big scary supercomputer
Yeah.
and make that give you the answers to the
Mm-hmm.
important, useful things.
You did say the other day that you have been talking to the
I
Yeah.
have been talking to the supercomputer.
Okay.
It is talking back to me now, which is nice. Thankfully, some people in the department who I know have like mastered it already.
Okay. Yeah.
So they've given me a lot of help,
Okay.
and I think I'm finally at the end of the learning curve.
Okay.
I think.
Mm-hmm.
Because on my machine I can press run and everything is happy. It's like, oh, I'm gonna load these things and do these things, but on the supercomputer it doesn't know anything. It's not
Yeah.
patched to your computer, so it's like, you want me to load something? What is that? I don't know. So it's taken me a little while to figure out how to be like, okay, actually load this thing. But I think in theory it's okay.
Okay.
It should be.
I've always found using like the supercomputers terrifying. Like, I don't know, like I feel like I just don't want to bake this multi-million-pound machine somewhere and like do something bad on it. Because I did like a scientific PC module in undergrad, and I go like, yes, they give us like this list of rules of things. You're like, don't ever run code on this machine. You always have to go to this bit of the machine to run code.
Yeah, because yeah, basically like you log into the supercomputer and you could in theory run code where you're at. That's like a big no-go.
Yeah.
Because where you like log in, it's more like just like move directories to folders sort of thing.
And if that's like a normal computer, it's not like super that bit.
Yeah.
So if you did that and like ran and tried to run code, it wouldn't run any faster, and your machine would slow down the computer for everyone else. So like you have to go to these like specific bits to run your code.
Yeah, it's more just type in a code like, oh, like send to supercomputer file, and then you just wait.
Okay.
Then you just wait. Eventually, something will happen.
Okay.
It's fine. No, it's good. You feel like a hacker because it's in like an old school sort of terminal. It's like, whoa, it's nice. And it's like not great for navigating, but you learn.
Yeah. I was gonna say it's not Linux, is it? Or is it?
Yeah, no,
I think it is.
yeah,
It's
Linux.
Okay.
It's like a Linux window. It's like CD, which is like change directory to like.
Yeah. I am vaguely familiar with I know what this looks like. I don't know how to use one.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay.
But,
so these two projects, are you thinking that will be like potentially written up for publication as well, or will it just be part of your thesis in the end?
I think maybe one
Mm-hmm.
certainly written up.
Yeah.
Probably not actually published. In fact, I'm not sure if this one that I've already submitted will technically get published in time.
Okay.
Because it may take like a couple of months for
Right,
it to
okay.
actually happen.
Go through the like pipes of publishing.
Yeah, of like making book. I guess I don't know what goes into making books. Probably a lot. I have no idea.
No.
Like I think a lot of time it's just like there's like as soon as it's published, like goes up online, and then like they do like an official thing like every few months or something.
It's just like merge PDFs, right? That's it. It's simple. In 5 minutes.
Well, like, yeah.
Why do they take so long?
But there was a formatting thing, isn't it? They like have each journal has their own style file and stuff like that.
Well, they made us write it up.
You have to make something on that style file. Yeah.
Yeah, which took a very long time to get running. And eventually I was like, overleaf, and I just put all the files in overleaf and it just worked. I'm like, okay, I don't understand why it wasn't working on my computer, but I don't care.
Oh, with LaTeX, LaTeX can just decide not to work on its own edition. LaTeX is one of those like things where it's like it's very changing. It depends on the wind direction, the phase of the moon. If LaTeX wants to part of your fire.
Mysterious. But yeah. So that's that. What else am I doing? I don't know. Like I feel like I think about people who who are in like where I am
Yeah.
when like I joined,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, is this what they were like? I don't know.
I think Seb, you're very unique. Nobody else is like you, Seb.
Nice. Thank you. Yeah.
No, you feeling like optimistic though about like the projects in the next few months?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I
Okay.
hope so.
Okay.
It's more like, I don't know. We're like, oh, let's try and solve this problem efficiently,
Mm-hmm.
but we don't really know like what that means, or like,
Mm-hmm.
we have an ideas of, oh, maybe we can do this thing, and this is something that we could in theory speed up,
Mm-hmm.
but we don't even know if that thing that we're trying to speed up is like actually slow.
Okay.
So we're trying to figure out like, does this part of the solving the problem actually take a long time?
Mm-hmm.
Is it actually worth pursuing?
Okay. Okay. Mm.
So yeah, so it's still quite exploratory.
Mm-hmm.
Like coding, I do find fun.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be nice to sort of have like a more physical sort of like confirmation of like, okay, this is actually
like theoretical.
Yeah.
yeah, not even like a result, just like okay, this project is worth pursuing.
Mm-hmm.
Like to have that a bit more concretely,
Mm-hmm.
I think would be nice. And yeah, I need to think about when am I gonna start like writing up
Yeah.
as well.
Thesis.tech.
Yeah.
Have you started thesis?
I have not.
No, okay,
I have
okay.
not.
That's probably like a healthy,
Yeah.
You've still got loads of time.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I know, like 6 months or something.
Yeah, but that,
No, it's
yeah.
no, it's 4 to 6 months because you still have like 2 more blocks of funding, don't you? Yeah, you have 2 more things of funding, so that's at least 6 months plus like it's 8 months. You got 8 months.
Well, yeah. Well, there's like, you need to start writing, you then need to like finish writing.
Yeah.
And like send it away. There's also, getting people to read over what you've written,
Yeah.
which can take a bit of time. And then there's actually like, making those edits, then actually sending it, and there's waiting for other people to read it, and then there's sort of the whole Viber thing, and so that takes some time
Yes, Viva is something that can happen.
after.
You don't have to Viva within like you don't still need. You can have finished like funding basically.
A lot of people some people like have already are in their next role when they're Viva.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I feel like getting it like written and submitted to the doctoral college, and then it's kind of I don't know. I feel like it's then like you can sort of move on.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing seen.
No, Sirius is not happy because he says that we're triggering him with thesis talk. So yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
confirmation that I like. I can just
yeah.
Right.
For like sense self plagiarism maybe.
Oh. No, confirmation's fine. It's the other one.
Yeah, it's your
Oh, okay.
The
thesis formulation report.
Yes.
TFR. You
I guess because
cannot.
it's technically like for a different qualification.
Yeah,
Yes.
so in
Yes.
theory, nothing you did as part of your TFR can be your.
That was an actual qualification. Whereas confirmation is all like internal. No one actually cares.
Seriously now said let's trigger Beth with confirmation.
Oh.
But yeah, like I guess I was gonna say like it's sort of maybe important for us all to remember that like I think I'm right in saying that when you are writing a PhD, things don't need to be completely finished. Like it's okay to say like we've been working on this project for the last 4 months. We've got some ideas, and this is what we do given more time, and it's still. I guess it's still okay to put that in a thesis, right?
No, I should check.
It feels like it should be.
Yeah, I feel like you need at least some. You need to at least finish something as part of your thesis. You can't have like an entire thesis of.
No, I
you tried
agree.
this in 2 weeks and didn't work. Next thing you try.
No, that's not quite what I mean.
Yeah, I know.
Like if the last thing that you were working on is not quite as complete as you would like it to be, then it's still
Yeah.
yeah.
I feel like though, like at that point you probably got enough and you didn't need to include it anyway. Maybe.
But then why leave it out when it's something that you've worked hard on for just because it's not quite finished?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Not sure.
No.
We'd have to ask somebody who's actually done one.
Yeah.
The people who mark them.
Hmm. I think sometimes those are the bits that, certainly when I've been assessed, I know for nothing at higher level as a Viva or anything, but it's kind of those bits that people like sort of like cling on to and then ask you questions about.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in some
Yeah.
ways, it's like when there are open, like it leads to like nice
Mm.
discussions when it's like you can just be honest about like we haven't quite finished it, but actually if you want to ask about it and we can talk about where I would go next. And
Yeah.
I don't know.
Mm.
I don't know. Like I can see that being like obviously like your TFR, you have that in there because that's a point of your like your first year of thesis formulation report you do as part of standard your master's years. Like the whole thing's like these are the questions we're going to be answering. I don't know. Like in a thesis, if it should be a bit more complete in terms of here are the questions, here are the answers. Good day, sir.
Mm.
Hmm. I think you should have some answers in there.
Yeah, I feel like you should have at least one answer.
So we have a first time chat.
Oh.
Hello, thanks for joining. Yeah, so an academia stream on Twitch. The internet is so interesting, they said. So yeah, we are behind the research. We are all PhD students, mathematics PhD students at the University of Bath. And we just sort of showcase the highs and lows and the honest sort of day-to-day life of doing a PhD.
Yeah.
Hopefully, anyway, that's what we try to do. So yeah, thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay.
What are we saying?
We were talking about whether a thesis needs to be
Oh,
like
yes.
the answers need to be
Yes.
like complete.
Mm.
And I don't think they should be.
Yeah, I
It's
think
still-
you can have a future work sectioning of a thesis. I think you can have like these are other questions which we have. Here's some like stuff.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think you need to have more answers than questions.
Something be nice too.
But then if you've got answers to questions you didn't even ask, then
Oh, okay. Okay. Good point. Math does not check out.
Just a page of just like random numbers. These are all answers.
yeah, they're answers to something, but yeah. No, I think that screams like trying to bulk out the page limit, the page count rather. No, okay, so
Yeah.
it feels like we've all got like a solid plan for like the next few months at least.
Yeah.
But yeah, as seriously pointed out, maybe what question? Seriously, maybe you should ask the question.
As in, if you have answers, then you should. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, true. But like, if you have an answer, you have a question, and if you have more, and as long as you have one question unanswered, then you're going to have more questions than answers.
Yeah. So we've been asked what all of our PhD topics are.
Ah.
So maybe we could recap that very quickly.
Yeah. So I do. So I've only just started my PhD like 4 months ago in October, and I study waves generated by. So if you imagine you have like a channel or a river, and you have like a bump at the bottom of the river. Water passing over this bump is going to generate waves. I'm studying what these wave profiles look like from water going over these things. And like the current plan is to look at if you just have a step. So if you have flat, it goes up by some amount, then it's flat again. What's this wave surface of the water?
Yeah. Me next. Okay.
Yes.
So I look at the collective behaviour of Trinidadian guppyfish. And they don't shoal and they don't move in the same way as multiple species of fish. So we can't use like standard kind of collective behaviour mathematical models to describe their movement. So I'm looking at like their behaviour and like at different sex ratios and the dynamics between males and females, and how we can like describe that using maths in a nutshell.
Maths in a nutshell.
That's word. Hello. I do a PhD in the area of inverse problems, where there's some sort of like quantity of interest that you want, like say like I know like a brain scan, whatever, but all you have is an indirect measurement of it, say output like an MRI machine or some other medical imaging, what have you, which is usually like I know a bunch of wiggly lines kind of thing. And I say, okay, I know what the machine does. How do I go from the weird measurement to an actually pretty brain scan? And it's an inverse problem, and mathematically you can like write down an equation to solve. But if you try and solving it, you usually get some garbled mess of an answer. So instead, you do something called, well, one thing you can do is something called regularization, where you consider like a slightly different sort of like equation, which is, close enough to still be representative of the original problem, but different enough to be like well behaved. And I'm looking at like some machine learning ways of choosing how to do this regularization thing. And yeah,
cool.
that's kind of it.
Because I realised you said yours at the very start,
Mm.
and then didn't necessarily go into detail again when we did a recap. But it's fine.
It's been about an hour. Should we take a break before?
Don't know. Are you guys okay? Like, because we've sort of chatted. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not proposing that we sort of stream for 2 hours.
No.
So,
I was just
no. My next question was going to be about if you've got anything upcoming work-wise, like any conferences or anything.
Yeah. So I've got the next set of conferences will be at Easter for me. So I've got the Bishop's Applied Maths Colloquium, which is a sort of big. So we'll sort of do applied maths, which is maths that focuses on doing like a problem. So like we all have sort of like an application. So the big sort of like conference for UK is BMC, BAMC, which happens each year, and this year's up in Newcastle, so I'm going up to that.
Ooh.
And then literally the day after that, I'm then heading up to St Andrews for a big workshop for it.
Okay, so is that like a fluid
Yeah,
dynamics
so it's
workshop?
fluids. I think it's the floating body and free surface flow workshop up in St Andrews. So I think BAMC is like Monday through to Friday, and on Sunday that workshop starts.
Okay.
So it's and BAMC is in Newcastle, so it's quite convenient because
I'm
already in that direction.
Does that have a nice acronym?
I don't know. I can't remember what the acronym is.
Floating for bands.
No, I just know it's like the floating bodies and free surface.
I hope when they say bodies, they mean it in like the kind of maths mechanics.
Actual bodies. It's not like actual bodies, but it's just like just like nouns. Floating.
Nice.
Yeah. And then I think I'll have in the summer. I think I might be going to America.
Oh.
A big like ICMS the big ICMS like free surface flow conference, which happens. I think it's either every 2 years or every 3 years it happens. So that's happening.
So it's probably like it's a once in a PhD opportunity.
Yeah.
For
I think in theory I will be able to go in my last year as well. I think it's every 3 years, so I think I'll also be able to go in year.
So if it's if it's every 3,
maybe it's every 2. Maybe it's every 2 years.
Yeah,
I think it's every 2 years. I think maybe then I'll be able to go in like my final year as well. But
ICMS stand for like
International Conference of Mathematics Sciences. International Conference of Mathematical Sciences. The length makes sense.
It does make sense, but I feel like you've just like made eye contact, just kind of see each other, and I forgot what that's for.
It's also one of those things that also could be standing in French. A lot of like international conferences have like French, like international.
Please don't. Let's not try and guess what it can stand for in French.
So they do like big free surface flow ones. I think it's happening in Baltimore, so the US. Which would be good. It'd be exciting.
Yeah.
I think my supervisor didn't realise wanted me to present something at these conferences. Like these 2 ones in the UK, we missed a deadline.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if he's emailed somebody to beg that. I think he particularly wanted to present something at a workshop. But I think he wanted to present something at a workshop, but I'd done.
Right. Okay.
I think it's like much more like academic speaks. So right.
Okay.
So no. So I think those would be good.
Yeah.
Sounds like a nice time.
What about you, Seb?
What about me? There's a conference. April.
Yeah.
Kind of time.
Yeah.
In Malta.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to. It's like IPMS, I think. Which stands for things. I think it ends modeling.
Problems.
No, it's not.
Okay.
Symposium. I don't think. I think it's International Conference of.
Oh, you said IPMS.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, IP. A P? I'm sure there's a P in it. Yes. Wait, hang on. I can I have the internet at my fingertips. There is a P. Is there? Where is this? Okay. Wait, there's, what could it be? IPMS, hello. Oh, inverse problems. Modern PMS English. You're right. It is me. It's relevant. Yay.
Like, you weren't just going to a random conference. I was like, IPMS, surely it's
Inverse
not.
problems, yeah.
You didn't just see, oh, nice conference in multi-enable body quite nice. I think
Yeah,
go to that.
I mean, I've gone to one which is just like optimization. So
Right,
it could
okay,
be.
yeah, which is a bit more general, but still not like massively so.
No,
It's not like
no,
you've gone to like, I don't know, an algebra conference or something.
no.
Oh, but no, that should be good.
Are you doing
Yeah.
are you doing a talk?
I am.
Presenting something? Ooh,
Yes.
very
Mhm.
nice.
Yes.
Mhm.
No.
I think there is definitely an element of like when we do have the freedom to, or conferences is part of like the PhD life. I feel like there's an element of you're allowed to be a little bit cheeky with like, well, I've got the funding there, and does the conference fits, but it just happens to be in this really nice place that's also quite sunny, and I could do with a holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess there's a balance. Like at least as long as you go to like, I say like 70% of the conference.
Yeah.
I'll go to all of it. What do you mean? What?
Like, as in, I would not. When you're at a big conference with lots of parallel sessions, I think it's
Okay.
different if you're at a workshop and
Yeah.
there's only like one session at each time. But like a big conference with lots of parallel sessions, if there's just nothing that interests you,
Yeah.
I think it's okay to say none of this is relevant to me.
I'm going to sleep.
I'm going to just take a break, maybe do a bit of my own work, maybe sleep if you want to.
I think the conference venue is just like some like beachside hotel.
Well, there you go then. They're basically telling you that you need to go and sunbathe in between talks.
It's true.
I think like it's like also to be fair, like conference, especially the really big ones, where there's lots of parallel sessions, lots of people to meet. They are incredibly full on.
Yes.
I think like, well, especially nowadays, a lot of conferences are doing like quiet spaces and stuff to like chill out. Have you got any conferences?
So yeah, on that note of like they're quite full on. There are two back to back in July that I would quite like to go to. So one is a mathematical modelling for evolutionary ecology, which I think both of my supervisors are pretty keen to go to, and that's in Vienna.
Nice.
Yeah, and then the following week there is the big European conference of mathematical and theoretical biology. So again, both sort of very much fit what I'm doing.
Absolutely.
And we went to, so that was the European Math Bio conference I went to 2 years ago. With a big group of like before I'd even started my PhD, so it was just after like the MRes year, just before I started PhD phase, and there was like 16 of us went from Bath. So as a first conference experience, like that was like fantastic.
Yeah.
That's really lovely. So I'm hoping to go to them both this year. That's in Toledo this year though, so I'll have not far from Madrid.
Okay.
So central Spain. Central Spain, mid-July. But yeah, so like that's the current plan. I've submitted abstracts to both of them. I don't know if either of them have been accepted yet, but we'll see. So, and I'm definitely like absolutely using it as an excuse to go to two nice places
in the summer.
And maybe tag on like a little bit of holiday as well.
Yeah, so I think if I go to the Baltimore conference, I think I'm going to make sure I time it so I get a long weekend in New York.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
So you have the flight, so you might as well.
Yeah. I think you could probably justify it. I don't know, they should let you fly back from different places. Like
I mean, like it's not looks at like the flights, but I don't know if there's like direct flights to Baltimore from the UK anyway. So
yeah, I guess you could fly into New York and then
to Baltimore.
Yeah.
When you have to fight with a system to book flights anyway, like
For like applying for conferences, I've never actually had to do the whole like I just submit an abstract and hope that like they want me. I've always sort of done it like via proxy of my supervisor getting an invite. So I've never actually had to engage with this whole like.
That's interesting.
From the sounds of it, it seems like almost everyone that I've spoken to has been doing is like just submit an abstract and hope that they can see it.
Have the conferences that you've been to been quite small or quite specialised?
I think most of them have been quite small.
Okay, which is maybe then
maybe.
slightly different.
Yeah.
I think the optimization one I went to last year, that was a big one.
Was your supervisor like organising one of the parallel sessions or something, or like some of your supervisor knew was running one of the parallel sessions?
I think someone that knew of my supervisor sent an invite.
So one of those things of like
instead.
your supervisor was invited to like do a group, and he said, "Oh, I have a student who can also like in this like."
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I know the math bio one is like last time it was like 600, 700 participants. So it's big.
Yeah.
And it's like, so I guess it's kind of a place that they have to filter out.
So yeah, the BAMC one is like a couple of thousand, isn't it? Almost, maybe not that big. Maybe like 6.
I would say it's probably a similar amount, maybe like 500.
Yeah, maybe 500.
Mm.
Because I've been to two. I've been to BAMC, then I went to a really small fluids one.
Yes,
which was like 30 people,
Mm-hmm.
and like most of the people were academics. There's like 2 or 3 PhD students.
You definitely, it's good to go to a mixture of like
Yeah.
different things, different size conferences though, and then you can get like a
Yeah. Well, I have received like an actual personal invite to give a talk.
Ooh.
Sadly, it's for a conference during the same week that I'm already in Malta
Oh,
for that
okay.
one.
Okay, that's a
It's
shame.
like, no, thank you. But
Arrange to do it online, maybe. Yeah. So if they want you, they should do what they can.
Maybe they can pay you. Maybe like they can upgrade your accommodation.
No, I passed the opportunity on to a fellow PhD.
Oh, that's
very good of you.
Yeah. It's like, oh, people remember me. Like I've made an impact.
Yeah, no, that's really nice. I think like definitely like it'd be nice to get to that point of
It's nice to be wanted.
Cool. Hello, we have a question from a painful PhD. What would you determine a successful conference visit? Networking, learning a thing or two, or collaboration?
I've only been to a few. I don't know. I feel like I think it depends on the conference. I think like if you go to like a workshop where a workshop is people bring in problems to you, they're working on problems together, then I feel like you definitely want to come out of that with collaboration.
Yeah.
If you've gone to like a small specialised like workshop where people are giving talks about their research, then learning something's probably important. And if you've gone to a bigger one, there's lots of people and like networking. I don't know. I feel like it depends on the conference. It depends on what point of your PhD you're at.
Probably, yeah. I mean, I've never been to a conference with maybe an expectation of like exactly what I want to get out of it. So like again, I think just enjoying yourself can be like a nice, like just having a nice time and like actually just like vibing.
Yeah.
I guess. For me, like last year, so last April when we went to BAMC last year. I gave a talk on like the work that I'd done as part of like pre-master's thesis.
Oh, okay.
And I think it was the first time. It wasn't the first time I'd given that talk at a conference, but so it was kind of like it wasn't my PhD work either. But I gave that talk and I was really happy with how it went. And then somebody in the audience of my talk had actually already read the paper, and so then she came and had a chat to me afterwards. And then, like later on, her and her PhD student published a paper that cited ours. And I'm just like, as far as I'm concerned, that was then a successful conference.
Yeah.
Like, regardless of what happened, even though it's like, it was only like one tiny little thing, and like to me, because it's now a name to a face and it's the potential contact. And yeah.
I think it's like, it's also like, so we're in quite a big, like, there's quite a big community of PhD students, so there's people to talk about maths with. There's not that many people to talk about your maths with. So it's like maybe you can only talk to your supervisor, like maybe they're direct PhD students. But when you go to a specialised conference, everybody talks your same type of maths. So like it's much easier to have an in-depth conversation about. So I can have like there's very few people from the department that have a very in-depth conversation about like the nitty-gritty, like the really like sort of deep level stuff about my research. I can have a fairly high level conversation with people because everyone like talks maths and knows maths. But it's nice to go to these places where like if you say like words and terms, they actually know exactly what you mean or what you mean by that.
Yeah. It's always then I would say networking is maybe more important at a small conference.
Yeah.
Because it's then out of the people that are specialists in your field, you can get those good bits of knowledge and those collaborations.
Agreed. Yeah. I feel like going to a conference expecting collaboration is like a very ambitious, at least for me, like unrealistic
I think it's
thing.
the only exception would be if it's one of those conferences where it is a couple of people have bought projects to be worked on at the conference,
which is then maybe more of like a workshop.
Which is more of a
style
workshop,
thing,
not a
yeah.
conference, but they all sort of like
Mhm.
fit under the same umbrella.
Yeah. The painful PhD said, note to self, put vibing on justification for conference funding.
Yeah. I think I was placing it as networking as opposed to vibing, but yeah.
But I think that was maybe the one thing that the big European conference that we went, the Math Bio one 2 years ago, because there was such a big group of us from that. There was kind of like you didn't feel the need to go and talk to other people sometimes, especially when it is full on and it is like your social battery just runs out and it's like, no, I know these people and I don't need to make sort of an effort to then talk to them. So I'm just going to sit inside my comfort zone for like a day or a poster session I guess there's you then don't make the most out of it, but it's nice to have that to fall back on.
But I think it's also like, because you said you went there as like the first summer, so that would have been before you even officially started your PhD. But like now you know stuff about the area and actually can have a conversation with people.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I especially now, like even after a few months of like reading papers, like you recognise people's names, like, oh, it's this author or that author. Like I actually now know the big players in the field and like all these different academics in the field. So like you now go to a conference, you're like, oh, I actually know this person. I've read their work. So it's a lot easier to have a conversation with somebody, like as opposed to like down and like just picking somebody and just walking up and attempting to have a conversation with them.
Yeah.
When I go to a conference, I always try and like make it my goal to end off feeling like that I like remember the names of like say 3 to 5 people and what their work is, and also I've like managed to like be remembered and my research remembered by say some people as well. And then if I go away from the conference feeling like I've done that, then I usually just feel satisfied. Yes, I've fulfilled my purpose.
Yeah. Follow-up question from the painful PhD is, what's the best icebreaker activity you've ever done at a conference or meeting?
I don't think I've ever done an icebreaker activity.
And seriously said welcome drinks.
Oh yeah, welcome drinks, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been to I went to like a maths outreach conference and there was like an icebreaker activity. But like I've never been to like the like academic maths conference icebreaker.
I guess that's where like the big conferences, the poster sessions come in.
Yeah.
And like I like one of our friends again at the big math bio conference would do the thing where he would happily introduce you to, it's like, do you want to talk to this person, but you're not confident enough to talk to this person, so I'm going to do that thing where I can go and like be the middleman and just like, oh, this sounds interesting, have you met Beth, her research is this and this and this, and then just like kind of makes that initial like interaction for you, and then would just like leave and go and get another glass of wine, and I'm like, yeah, okay, that I appreciate. Yeah. Maybe you need like, we all need, the best icebreaker is like having an extroverted friend with you.
Yeah. What's the best one that
Yes, literally, have you met Ted? Yeah.
I think a good icebreaker that I went to is like, there was some workshop based in Rome, and in like one of the afternoons we had just like a tour around Rome. We had like ice cream.
Oh,
that was nice. That was good.
I'm assuming that was a smaller conference.
It was a much smaller, maybe like 20-ish people.
Yeah. But no, I think especially incorporating some element of like getting to know the local.
Kind
of.
Oh. Sorry, guys. We knew it was going to go at some point. Okay. So I think it is. We need to do this. You can still hear us fine? I'm assuming. Good. We are in the process of fixing it. Fear not. So I think.
Yes.
And then.
Yes.
There we go.
Hello.
Hi.
Okay, that will. Are we back?
Yeah, it's back on there.
Hello.
This is now just awful, but no, we forgot to charge the camera.
But then we remembered to charge it.
And we remembered to charge the camera. So if we hadn't have charged it at all, then there wouldn't have been a stream at all. But you're lucky that we got we got an hour and 15 minutes out of it. I did say, didn't I say?
An hour.
3:15 would be like when it started to get a
Yeah.
bit hairy, and then it just
Yeah.
no.
Maybe you should have said it was going to be 3:30, then it would have lasted. Yeah.
Maybe, yeah, it's my fault. Are we? Yeah, this is as good as it
this is-
gets. I'm
yeah.
sorry, guys. Okay, maybe we should sort of start to wrap
Wrap
things up a little bit then. So
Should we sort of like?
I was going to say maybe instead of like a New Year's like resolution, maybe so if we do another family stream, we'll catch up again, maybe like April or May time. What is like one thing that you would like to have achieved by the next catch up?
I would like to have some theoretical results of what I'm doing.
Whoa.
Okay, yeah.
Like, they don't have to be good.
Mhm.
I like at least to like be like, oh yes, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, okay, I like that. Mm-hmm.
Wait, when will we be having another one?
April, like
April.
Yeah.
so like 2 or 3 months.
Okay, there's still time after that. I would have liked to have decided on the project
Yeah,
and have made good progress to have doing the main thing of the project
okay,
and just hopefully doing little detail things
okay,
at that point.
okay. That's good. Yeah.
What about you?
I think I would like to have this paper submitted. I don't think like having it accepted would be like
I think that just
relying on other people to do
Yeah,
things
yeah.
for me. Yes.
Yeah.
But no, I think it was meant to be submitted by the end of January. I don't think that's going to happen.
You'll see why that might surprise you. They
They-
might be like, it's just done.
They might. We'll see. I'll let you know. So I think then sort of the next few months, that's kind of like a nice then realistic aim in my head. Well, that's not like a full-time job at the minute, so then I can carry on with other stuff while that's like on the burner.
Yeah.
So yeah. Mm-hmm.
Any plans behind the research? Have we got plans? Plans we can share?
We're gonna carry on streaming.
Ooh.
We're gonna
Not today.
surprise. So yeah, we seriously said about confirmation. So that is true. By the time we probably next do like a family catch up, I will have submitted confirmation as well.
What is confirmation?
Confirmation is like a halfway checkpoint. So we have to write a report. Basically just like you said earlier, that it's all internal. It's like just kind of like making sure that you've done something, and yeah, you're
You've
making
still
good
got something
progress.
to do, and it's
Yes,
worth PhD.
yeah. So that is coming up for me. I'm not super worried about it, just because I know that it is like it's an internal thing and it's meant to be there as an opportunity to get help.
Yeah, and
It's not if you
and in some sense you already have like a paper written which you can probably fairly quickly turn into a confirmation report.
Yes, yeah.
It's not like you've got nothing and have to like now write a 30 to 40 page document.
Yes, yeah.
You already have like however long your paper is and just need to.
Yeah, I agree. So it's kind of like I know that it's sort of it's all the stuff's there. It's just going to be a matter of putting it together, hopefully. So yeah. But yeah, I think maybe any tips for some New Year motivation?
Tips?
Yeah, for me or for
Motivating.
the people
What?
watching or for oneself, yes.
What motivation is there?
It's the head.
Yeah, seriously says that they need them.
You need
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Am I motivated?
I find that like I tend to be more motivated after having a break. So if you've not had a break, have a break.
Is there a time limit on said break?
I mean, like, I don't know, like long enough that you feel like you've an actual break where you've not thought about your work.
Okay.
Like maybe a week. So if you've actually like if you've not managed to have a week's break yet, have a week's break.
Yeah, I guess if people have worked over Christmas
or
yeah.
like or for they've not been able to mentally switch off, try and like actually take some time to mentally switch off, even if it's like a long weekend.
Yeah, okay. I think that's good. Yeah.
Motivation.
I think I would have so much more motivation sometimes if I wasn't as hard on myself.
Yeah, I think that
I know that that's a big issue for me at the minute. It's just putting expectations on myself and making myself feel guilty when work isn't going as well as I'd like it to be, or I haven't done as much as I think I should. And then I think then it just spirals into like
I feel like
kind of
you should only compare yourself against like your past self and what you used to know. Like don't compare yourself to other people because that's stupid. Compare yourself to like how you were like a few months back. You're making progress forward. You're progressing.
Yeah, is your past self to learn from, to acknowledge and be better than. You know, like my progress is incredibly non-linear, and it's like I can't compare myself to other people.
Yeah,
because they're doing other things and they're different people.
yeah. Maybe behind the research, like maybe when we're not on the spot, we could do like a little series of like reels with like motivational like
Quotes.
tips or quotes. Yeah, maybe we need to go back through all of our streams and see what our guests had to say.
Ooh, motivation.
Yeah, for motivation or for inspiration.
Yeah.
But yeah, so speaking of which, we will hopefully have more guests in the future. Yeah, we will keep doing our monthly sort of meet the people streams with people from the maths department here at Bath, hopefully from different departments, so we can start to showcase like PhD life, academic life, outside of the mathematician's world. What are you doing, Seb?
Where's my hand?
You're just resting your head on it. You're just a floating head at this point.
Continue.
I'm trying to be okay. I was trying to be serious and be like, yes, behind the research, please take us seriously. And we're going to be doing all this cool stuff. And yeah. Kat suggested that we should get a fluid dynamicist with funky hair as a guest because they'd be cool.
Do you know any?
Yeah, I'm not sure. We'll have to a think about
that.
Yeah, I'll have to have a think, but we'll bear it in mind, Kat.
Thanks for the suggestion.
Yeah. We take suggestions. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
If anybody wants anything discussed or anything sort of, she said for you. What you're coming back? You're not like we said earlier, Kat, that you're not allowed to leave. You will be back at some point, but you need to focus on yourself and your thesis. We won't let you leave. You okay there?
Yeah, I'm good. Great day.
Okay. So do we don't have a date for the next stream yet? No, we don't.
We don't even necessarily have a day of the week yet for next stream.
We do.
Probably.
Fridays.
Yes.
We agreed. Like
Fridays.
Streams will continue to be on Fridays at 2 p.m. So what do you mean it's cold? I gave you a blanket.
Why is she in a box? What?
Okay. Yeah. I think streams will continue to be on Friday at 2 p.m. So yes. But look out for our social media. That is mostly Instagram and X, formerly known as Twitter, is where we announce our streams when we're going to be streaming. So yeah, I think that's all there is to say.
But follow the Twitch channel for actual updates on Twitch
Yes,
because that's probably the most.
It's the thing. The socials.
It is the socials. Is it there? All the way. Oh. Yes, follow us on socials to keep up to date with everything that's going on and all of the chaos that is apparently behind.
Are you playing the socials like a piano?
Yeah, see, why is seriously more put together than us? He knows, like, we're.
My hands are busy.
Okay. I think that is everything for us. So yes, but we will hopefully thank you everybody for joining. Thanks for watching. We will hopefully see you again very soon.
Yeah.
So okay. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Ciao.